cleared by Magno on the volley. It's an absolute stunner. Wonderful technique. Splendid finish. Scintillating result.
It was a night that Nigeria Super Eagles coach Eric Shell will not want to remember. And for the home base Eagles, it was a day that they will never want to remember. And just to forget quickly, losing in a high-scoring margin to Sudan in a Jan tournament. My name is Oladapo Okunubi. You're welcome to Kickoff Sports Show. And this morning, we look at stories making rounds the world of sports, not only football. We've got updates from the Afro Basket Championship going down on the continent of Africa, as we also look at the preview of the game today going down between Tottenham Hotspur and PSG. Remember, these two teams won titles on the European continent last season. PSG won the UEFA Champions League. Tottenham Hotspur won the Europa League. However, these two teams have influential players who will not be playing today, but some has been suspended because of his lateness, while Donnarumma is not with PSG squad. He has already said his goodbyes. We'll talk more about this. We're live on Facebook, live on YouTube, Solutions 939 FM. Jump on this platform to also share your predictions about tonight's UEFA Super Cup. Well, Okunloye, Oluwafermi, commentator Jalasho Henry. Good morning, guys. Well, you can share your predictions this morning. What are expectations? Some are saying Tottenham can come up and shock PSG tonight. Although Luis Enrique is saying that there is no excuse in tonight's game, despite Tottenham having enough time to rest. And, you know, being a team that has won UEFA Champions League, they'll be playing a lot of games. But, hey, they called for it. They called for the trophy. They got it. So they must be able to face anybody. All right, now let's start with tennis on the show this morning. Well, for Carlo Alcaraz defeated Ahmad Medvedev in the straight set to reach the fourth round of Cincinnati Open, as the Serene heat cost issues of four other players on Tuesday. Alcaraz, who is using the Cincinnati to get ready for the US Open, which is scheduled to go down on 24th of August, struggled to break down the big heat in Medvedev, but dug deep, and the key moment to come out tops with 6-4, 6-4 victory for his opponent Jakob Mentik. Now let's look at games are going down today, same as continuation, where there will be continuation of the game between Brandon Nakashima and Alexander Zverev today. But remember, Zverev was leading that game 6-4, 5-4 yesterday before it was halted, and there will be continuation today. However, Francis Saifo will take on Olga Runa by 4 p.m. today, as Ben Shelton will battle Roberto Batista Agut by 5:45. 6 p.m. Yannick Sinner will take on Andrea Manarino as Benjamin Bonzi battles Felix Aga Aliassime. Now Taylor Freezer by 8:30 will take on Terence Atman as Andrew Rublev will be up against Francisco Cominsana by 10 o'clock. Now talking about the WTA category of the Cincinnati Open, looking at what the ladies are doing. Well, today 4 p.m. Iga Swiatek will be in action against Rana Christier, and by 5 p.m. Clara Tauson will take on Veronika Kodemantova. Looking at more games to go down today, there will be continuation of the game between Magda Linget and Jessica Pegula. Pegula lost the first set 6-7. She came back second set to win 6-3, and the third set will continue today. Elina Rybakina will be in action against Madison Keys by 7:15, and we have Jessica Bozas Maniero against Arina Sabalenka going down by 8 p.m. Now, away from tennis, let us talk away from Cincinnati Open, let us talk about one man who has pulled out of a bigger tournament going down this month. That is the US Open. Now, three-time Grand Slam semi-finalist Grigor Dimitrov has withdrawn from the US Open a little more than a month after he tore a chest muscle and had to quit playing against Yannick Sinner at Wimbledon. The exit from the All England club on July 7, Dimitrov had taken the opening 2 sets against Sinner but got hurt in the third, marked the 5th consecutive Grand Slam tournament where the 34-year-old French Open in May, plus last year's Wimbledon and the US Open. A year ago, remember, in New York, Dimitrov stopped while trailing 6-3, 6-7, 6-3, 4-1 against the Francis Taifel in the quarterfinals. So, there is now for somebody pulling out, there will be an opportunity for another player to move. So, the highest ranking was number 3 for Dimitrov. He's currently number 21. Now, with Dimitrov out of the field, Alejandro Tabilo gets a spot in the men's singles bracket, which starts a play on 24th of August. Now, let's move on and talk basketball this morning, where it is game day for Nigeria's D Tigers, as they will be taking on Madagascar at this year's Afro Basket Championship. And it is going down in Angola. Remember, some matches were played yesterday. We have to look at those set of results before talking about today's fixtures. Well, remember, Nigeria is taking the first game today, though. But looking at results of games decided yesterday, Senegal, Guinea, Egypt, Angola recorded wins in their games yesterday. Senegal defeated Uganda 88 to 53 points, as Guinea edged South Sudan 88 to 80 points. Egypt edged Mali 74 to 59 points, while Angola host defeated Libya 85 to 53 points. Now today we'll have 4 matches going down. Madagascar up against Nigeria's D Tigers, and can the Tigers go claim the first win in today's game? 4 p.m. Ivory Coast will be up against Rwanda. Tunisia will be up against Cameroon by 5:30, and 7 p.m. DR Congo will be locking arms with Cape Verde. Moving away from the Tigers game scheduled for today, let's go and talk about Nigeria's home base Eagles. Talk about what is happening in Chan. What went down yesterday. A lot of people switched off their team, MPFL players, but Eric Shaw had to focus on some set of clubs. We look at this and the reaction of Coach Eric Shaw himself, saying as what is next for Nigeria in Chan.
Sabi dribble o, but you no fit dribble past malaria if you no use insecticide treated nets. Malaria dey real o.
This message now from Solutions 93.9 FM.
News, sports, entertainment, top 100 music on your Remedy radio dial. Solutions 93.9.
Do not touch that dial.
Kickoff Sports Show is still live on Solutions 93.9 FM here in the city of Ibadan. Now, let's talk football here. In case you're just tuning in, my name is Oladapo Okunubi. So, just get used to that name and get used to the show. This is your Remedy Radio Dial, Solutions 93.9 FM. Remember, 8 p.m. today, PSG Tottenham game is going down, and we'll be previewing this one. But let's get your prediction for this game. Some saying Tottenham can shock PSG. The odds we'll be looking at as well, same as the odds on PSG this morning. But let's start from the home front, where it was a disappointing outing for Nigeria's home-based Eagles after losing 4-0 against Sudan. Super Eagles head coach Eric Shaw lamented a side's disappointing loss to Sudan. Nigeria crashed out of the 2024 African Nations Championship following a 4-0 defeat to Kwesi Appiah's side at the Aman Stadium, Zanzibar on Tuesday night. It is the second time the West Africans have failed to make it beyond the group stage of the competition following similar experience at the 2016 edition in Rwanda. So, according to the Malian, the Eric Shaw himself, he confessed it was the worst game he has overseen as a coach. Maybe we should also take him back to the picture or the video that was trending at the AFCON where they were pouring cold water on his head. But now let's talk about the coach of the Sudanese home-based Eagles. That is Coach Kwesi Appiah. Now, Sudan head coach Kwesi Appiah has expressed satisfaction with his team's victory over Nigeria. The Falcons thrashed Eric Shaw's side 4-0 in a Group D encounter at the 2024 African Nations Championship on Tuesday night. Now, despite the emphatic scoreline, Appiah was gracious towards his opposite number, Eric Shaw, saying that he thinks the home-based Super Eagles aren't that bad. On the whole, tactically they played well, and the coach only needs to do some polishing with the attack. Come on. It shows how poor Eric Shaw is as a coach managing the maybe Daniel Ogunmo that day, Fidelis Elechukwu should have been allowed to take charge of the team. Then we can say the home-based Eagles with the home-based coaches going to the Chan tournament. But it's what it is. We move, right? Okay. And let us move on this morning and look at some games scheduled for today at the African Nations Championship Chan. Madagascar will be up against Central African Republic today by 3 p.m. while Mauritania battles Burkina. Doesn't mean that we'll not play the last game of the Chan tournament, most especially with the way everything went for the Super Nigeria's home-based Eagles. Remember, Nigeria is in Group D, losing the first two matches, losing against Senegal, losing against Sudan, and now we're playing Congo in the last game of the tournament. Wishing Nigeria all the best, and also $100,000, bro, it's gone. Otilo. Okay, so let's talk about Kun Khalifa that will be playing in the Nigeria Premier Football League this new season. Nigeria Premier Football League NPFL outfit Kun Khalifa have strengthened the squad with 8 new players ahead of the new NPFL season. The 8 players are Jerry Ogo, Romanus Chinonso, Olubode Hassan, Uche Moses, Lekon Gabriel, Promise Oji, Chukuma Uko, and Ahmed Yahaya. The Mones Club are expected to bring in more players before the start of the new campaign. Remember, the team got promoted from the NNL playoffs. Now let's talk about Kwara United this morning. Well, the team will be representing Nigeria on the CAF Confederations Cup category, talking continental football, as the team has bolstered the squad with 6 new signings. The number of new arrivals could rise to 8, with 2 more players still under close assessment. According to reports, checks revealed that Coach Tunde Sani and his backroom staff have carefully handpicked players of high quality capable of adding value to the Nigerian President Federation's Cup holders' triple title pursuit in the coming season. In their bid to secure the best available talent, Kwara United cast their recruitment nets alongside the West African coast, landing Nigerian-born goalkeeper Kazim Yekini, who returns to the domestic top flight from Aziza FC in Benin Republic. Also joined Oluwaseun Chisom Ungomere from Bendel Insurance, Arnold John Mark from Lobby Stars, and Gidado Toib from Ikorodu City. Now, updates we are getting: Hazard Kotoko, 2-time African champions in 1970 and 1983, are the current Ghana FA Cup winners. They will host the first leg of the CAF Confederations Cup in Kumasi against Kwara United, either 19, 20 or 21st of September, with a reverse fixture in Nigeria the following week of 26, 27 or 28 of September 2025. Wishing Kwara United all the best. Well, when you run a good business, maybe you can also get the reward. It may not happen instantly. Some can happen instantly. but you have to learn from the likes of Manchester City, learn from PSG. From Africa, let us talk European Super Cup game going down tonight, and it is between Tottenham Hotspur and PSG.
For the club, for the team, for me, for everyone involved in Tottenham Hotspurs is a massive game. Great challenge, even bigger opportunity. I see it as the way my brain works is I see opportunities instead of pressure or whatever. So for me, massive opportunity, and we will definitely embrace it, and we will give everything. Yeah, I think that's not only for this game. It's over the course of the pre-season. I'm a big believer of principles and structure in the team, offensively and defensively. So for me, there needs to be clear structure in, let's say, phase 1 and phase 2 when we're building up and want to control the game, and also in phase 3 where we want to score, and then of course the other way around in high pressure, middle pressure, and defending the box. So that we'll work on. Hopefully it's perfect tomorrow. We are playing a OK team that did reasonably well last year, but that we are ready for.
Thomas Frank, a coach of Tottenham Hotspur, sounding optimistic against ahead of tonight's game against the PSG. But looking at what the odds look like this morning for for Tottenham Hotspur to win, we have 6.50, 6.80. Whoa. All on Tottenham. But the odds on PSG, we have 1.48, 1.47. So, you know where to go. But by the way, let's listen to Coach Luis Enrique this morning, saying no excuses for PSG against Tottenham tonight. And speaking that he almost joined Tottenham to manage that side before moving to PSG.
Well, I have to say that it's difficult because they changed recently the new manager, some of new players. They played a few friendly match before the tomorrow's match, and I don't know what kind of game they are going to plan, but it's going to be difficult because they have been training for the last month, and we are in our first week, but it's not an excuse. We are going to try to compete on our best. And, well, there were some options for me in the last 6 months before I came to Paris, and Tottenham was one of them.
Meaning, Luis Enrique should have been or could have been the man facing the coach that is managing PSG today, but hey, he's the one managing PSG and facing the other side. Now let's look at the head-to-head here. PSG and Tottenham have never met in a competitive setting. PSG have won 5 of 8 games against English clubs, losing 3 in 2025, whilst Tottenham last clash with French opposition saw them defeat Marseille twice in the 2022-2023 UEFA Champions League. Now PSG last 9 matches saw the winning team keep a clean sheet. Reigning UEFA Champions League champions won 11 of the last 12 UEFA Super Cups. 5 of Tottenham's last 6 competitive losses came by a 2-goal margin. 7 of the last 10 UEFA Super Cups were decided by extra time or penalties. So, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Our people from the other side this morning. Well, for Coach Thomas Frank is speaking on how to keep Kvaratskhelia tonight, a man who has been fantastic for PSG so far.
To just kick him down, but he's a special player, unique talent. I think the way he drives with the ball and his one skills is exceptional. Follow him in quite a while, both in Naples and with the national team, and of course now here in PSG. So, but with all respect, he's also just a human, a very good player, and we have good defenders and we have a good plan. So I'm comfortable that we can keep him quiet enough. Of course, it is impossible to keep him totally quiet.
Well, keeping Kvaratskhelia quiet. But hey, one man is not quiet on the Facebook fan page this morning. His name is David Kuti, saying, "Good morning, young striker. I do expect PSG to triumph over Spurs. Hugely disappointed with the home-based Eagles, because I believe that Remo Stars alone will defeat the Sudanese side. Somebody is trying to touch my head this morning. Okay, all right, now let's listen to Luis Enrique tonight. Ahead of the games tonight, saying that, well, that his team couldn't rest is not an excuse because they called for every challenge that came their way.
I think it's normal, and it happens more often than before because too much pressure in terms of competing different competitions. But well, I have to say that I'm very happy to be here again and start a new season. And this is a challenge season for us, for all the players, and that means to win important trophies. But I can understand that words. I didn't hear that. By the way, I just was walking to that press conference, and I saw 4 of my players playing in the pasillo. How does it call, the pasillo, the corredor? In the channel, 4 players playing, still playing. We enjoy a lot playing football. It's like, it's not a job, it's not a business, it's the way we live football, and I'm very happy for having those kind of players, and we try to enjoy at maximum. Of course, the pressure is around us, but I think we can manage that.
Okay, well, my culture of PSG there, Luis Enrique. Now, Mayowa Olubile on Facebook is saying PSG to win 3-1 against Tottenham tonight. Okay, how can that be possible? Well, based on the stats we are tracking here this morning between the two sides, key players to watch this tonight. Star PSG striker Ousmane Dembele was the leading goal scorer of 2024-2025 wearing Barcelona colours. In December 2018, he won UEFA's Goal of the Week award for a superb solo effort during UEFA Champions League group stage game against Tottenham. Now, Brennan Johnson scored 5 Europa League goals for Spurs last year, including the iconic match winner in the final. So, you can also, stake on these players. Okay, so now, based on the final here, driven by the heartbreak of their Club World Cup failure, PSG expected based on base. Adeboja Yusuf, how are you doing? Good morning to you. Let's get your predictions this morning before wrapping up the show. Remember, no longer news. Gianluigi Donnarumma said his goodbyes to PSG, and that is from that end. But hey, remember the Premier League Fantasy for Solutions 93.9 FM is on. But let's take you straight to the week 1 of the EPL fixture, same as La Liga.
The English Premier League kicks off this Friday at Anfield Stadium as defending champions Liverpool host Bournemouth. Meanwhile, on Saturday, EFL Cup champions Newcastle host Aston Villa at the Villa Park, while Brighton awaits Fulham at the Amex Stadium in the London Derby. Newcomer Sunderland will lock horns with West Ham at Stadium of Lights. Tottenham will face Burnley at home, while Manchester City travels to play Wolves at Molineux Stadium. On Sunday, world champions Chelsea tackles Crystal Palace at the Stamford Bridge in London, while Brentford will be the guest of Nottingham, and Manchester United will host Arsenal at the Old Trafford on a Super Sunday. Monday Night Football will see Leeds United host Everton at the Elland Road. The Spanish La Liga 2025-2026 season kicks off this Friday at Municipal de Montilivi as Girona hosts Rayo Vallecano, while Villarreal lock horns with Real Oviedo. On Saturday, Alaves will play against Levante at Mendizorroza, while Mallorca is set to host Spanish La Liga champions Barcelona at the Mallorca Sun Moix. Also, Real Sociedad will be the guest of Valencia. On Sunday, Celta Vigo tackles Getafe, while Sevilla will play against Atletico Bilbao. Also, Espanyol will lock horns against Atletico Madrid at RCDE. Monday night will see Betis be the guest of Elche, and on Tuesday night, Real Madrid will play against Osasuna at Santiago Bernabeu.
All right, last update here before bringing in Adidama Lafenwa and Comrade Ayode Jadishop this morning. Now, Bournemouth have completed a deal to sign Bafode Diakite from Lille. Reports understands that the fee under discussion makes the Diakite the second most expensive deal in Bournemouth history. This will be the confident point to say goodbyes on the show. But Comrade Ayode Jadishop this morning, good morning to you. And I feel in Nigeria, when you cause wahala, they make you an ambassador. So, well, with federal government withdrawing criminal complaints against Ibom Air passenger and reducing Kwamwan's ban,